it will always be as long as we're alive. And whether others will come along with those, what I call attributes, remains to be seen. The public, generally speaking, doesn't hear any of this. Something is not working properly, but as long as they're able to make their house payment and feed themselves, they don't care. There are people, the other half, who do care, but most of them don't know what to do about it. And so you're not going to see any action until there has to be a reaction. And that's unfortunate because people don't want to prepare, and in a number of ways. And so by the time the reactionary period sets in, it might be a little too late. And the people who might have acted, that possible leadership might be gone through legislation like we were talking about, and then they have to assume that, and can they do that? We don't know. We don't know how this is going to end up. Of course, we'd love some divine intervention, but I think you have to do the job yourself.
Well, and, I came up with...
They're going to continue to create their lies and distortions and attacks and passing legislation and taxing people.
Oops, there we go. Lost him again. Bring him back. Come on, Bob.
Since it appears you're calling back, we're reconnecting you now.
Okay, I'm back here, Bob. We went down again for a second. Still down. Hold on, bringing it back. Just Blog Talk
Radio. Since it appears to a live show, we're reconnecting you now.
All right, Bob, I'm still back. I'm back here now. Can you hear me all right? Shh. They're going to make it difficult this time. They're making it difficult, folks.
Since it appears you're a live show, we're reconnecting you now.
Well, they're just working overtime today, Bob. They really don't like this conversation, do they? Ha!
Since it appears you're a live show, we're reconnecting you now.
We're just lucky they got computer equipment here that reconnects us every time. I don't have to dial it. Oops. Yes, I guess I do. Hold on while we try to get the call back. There's a problem
with this call. Show, we're reconnecting you now.
They're really working overtime here, Bob. Okay. Again, we're still on TalkShoe. We're still on Crusade. And Bob
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we're reconnecting you now.
Still trying here, Bob. Still here. If you can't hear me, you just keep talking. At least we can get it recorded that way.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we're reconnecting you now.
All right, Bob. I'm still trying to get you here. If I'm not here... Okay. What's wrong with this?
Live show, we're reconnecting you now.
Okay, still trying to get on here, Bob. Are you able to hear me yet?
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we're reconnecting you.
Bob, are you there?
I am here.
All right. This is they're really working overtime, Bob. Now, let me ask you. Years back, And I think this may have been one of the reasons behind the attempted hit on me. I came up with I asked myself, how do we combat this? How do we combat international banks? And the best answer I could come up with was Liberty Villages, going back to the farms, going back to the ranches, and putting enough veterans and people that are willing to work on each one in order to feed yourself and generate your own power, and generate your own energy, and grow your own fuel. Did they try to kill me over that?
Could be. You never know. You know, you're dealing with sociopathic psychopaths, and you can expect anything from them. Working with them, I only get on the fringes of it, but I knew right away that these people were criminal nutcases, and I hope they caught that one. That just burns them up. They'll probably take us off the air again. And these antics by the United States government proves to you that there's nothing free, and there's no freedom left in America.
Well, they're taking it away as fast as they can, and in my opinion, they started that as soon as they started the Federal Reserve. As soon as they put the fifth plank of the Communist Manifesto intact in America, they started doing like Ayn Rand said. Ayn Rand said the government has no control over honest citizens, so they have to make criminals out of us. They made our grandfathers and uncles, great uncles, into criminals for growing their own fuel, for producing their own fuel, didn't they?
Yeah, and as a reward, they sent them off to one war after another. And all those people died for nothing. Absolutely nothing. And it's a tragedy. But I want to say one thing here, very quickly, before they cut us off the air again.
Okay.
The way to combat and destroy the power of the Illuminati is to allow the financial system to collapse, because that is the seat and the key to their power. And if it collapses, there will be a time, there will be a window of opportunity to throw these people out and show what they've done and why they've done it. And if we can accomplish that, we will have taken away the vehicle to which they suppress the entire world from.
Yeah, it's not, may not be the bad thing that they envision, because then, let's see, to eat, the people that have prepared, the people that are growing the food in their backyard, in their greenhouses, in their garages, will, they'll survive. The cities will go down unless they organize together, unless they turn their backyards into a source of food. They go after, anytime a communist regime takes over, they go after the farmers first, because they don't want you being able to feed yourself. And now we got, they're poisoning us with the food they're feeding us here. Are you aware of that?
Oh, sure.
I mean, what about the pharmaceutical, the whole pharmaceutical industry and the illegal drugs, the meth and the cocaine? That's all being brought in by the intelligence agencies. That's your source of income. They are the drug cartels. Are they?
That's right. And I noticed a couple of days ago, a former chief of police was apprehended and put in a jail named after him for evidently trying to exchange sexual favors for methamphetamines. And so there are people, I guess, who spend too much time among criminals, and I guess it rubs off on them.
Well, they are criminals. You know, I said there's a couple of things I can't tell my audience. Did the government take over the press, or did the press take over the government? Did and same thing applies to the mafia. You know, did we infiltrate the mafia and take it over, or did the mafia infiltrate the government and take it over? They're criminals. Whatever they are, they're criminals. Now, give me your description again. We didn't get that blocked out, but I want to hear it again.
In order to defeat the Illuminati, you must take away their source of power. And their source of power is the financial sector of the world. And that's how they continue to be able to suppress people, control governments, and many other things with the money that they get from that. So what you must do is allow the system to collapse. And once it collapses, point out to the people who are very enraged at that time, these are the guys that did it, this is why they did it, and this is the end product. And you got to put them all in jail, take their wealth away from them. Those are committed treason, you hang them. And that's the only way we're ever going to take the power of these people behind government away from them.
They got private bodyguards. They got police forces that are backing them and covering their ass. You know, so what are we going to do? How are we going to arrest the criminals? Oh, we need a militia.
Well, I think that's pretty simple.
We need a militia, don't we?
You offer law enforcement an offer that they can't refuse. There's a hell of a lot more of us than there are of them. And we've all been trained just like they have to do the things that they do. We know exactly what to do.
That's true.
And that's why they're so terrified of veterans of the last 15 years from the different make-believe wars that they've had. Because most of these people, when they come back, they realize how they've been taken to the cleaners. So they automatically call them terrorists because they represent a threat to government because they understand what government's up to. And that's why I've done that program every Thursday, the Marine Disquisition, for so many years, to let the military understand how they're being used, etc. And so, you know, if I was in law enforcement, I certainly would want to be helpful to the people. And the reason for that is because if you become combative with people and work against them, you're liable to lose your life.
Now I think that's kind of the mistake Bill Cooper made. You know, he was a little bit more combative, and they came right up and killed him.
And they do that to you in 1 second if you did the same thing.
That's right. That's right. And
that's why I get out of harm's way, because my message is too good, too powerful, and too on to have it shut off by challenging them. It wouldn't have done me any good. What it boils down to is I'm as smart, if not smarter than they are. And I found a way to function another 10 years. And I'll keep right on doing it until I can't.
You know, Bob, I think this whole thing against me has gone on a little bit longer. I applied for Officers Candidate School when I joined the Army, and I was turned down, and I was pretty outraged. I went in, kind of pounded on the desk. I want to know why I didn't get OCS. I've never failed a test. You know, what happened? Why didn't I get it? And the sergeant said, oh, you didn't fail any test. You scored so high on the test they won't let you be an officer. They said anybody with your IQ will question orders. A week later, I was in the hospital, and a telegram sent out to my mother saying I wasn't going to make it from spinal meningitis. Whether that was coincidental or not, I don't know. But shortly after that, you know, I got thrown in prison in Texas for marijuana, and I want to ask you about that too, because Ron Paul has just come up and said that's a crime itself, putting people in jail for a little bit of hemp in their pocket. You know, ain't a way to run America. And I've told people if they legalize the drugs here, and this is what Gary Johnson, former governor of New Mexico, has talked about, and Ron Paul is talking about it now. If they legalize the drugs and or abolish the laws against victimless crimes and let real free trade happen, you know, you want to come up here and you want to trade some of your Mexican pot for you know, some you know, lettuce, you know, we'll be happy to do that for you. What about that? I mean, isn't this the again, Ayn Rand saying, you know, they got to make criminals out of us? Isn't this what the whole drug war is about? If the CIA's controlling it and bringing it in, I said I quit doing cocaine in Miami when I learned the CIA was making all the money off of it. Why would I support them? What about the drugs? What about the drug issue? I mean, this is
should be done away with. I mean, it's just a profit center for those who control government. All the great fortunes in history, which you pointed out earlier, have been made in drugs, whether you go back to ancient Egypt, all the way through history. That's the way the big money was made. And that's what put these people in perpetual power. And they continue to stay in power by having laws which make it illegal to do so. If it was legal, lots of people wouldn't be interested.
Now, Bob, I wrote a novel. It's called the Solomon Series. I wrote a novel 40 years ago while I was sitting in a Texas penitentiary for pot. That was back when it was a life sentence in Texas. And I wrote a book about it, and I sent the book out, and I haven't quite had it very easy since then. I wrote about the United States in the future when all laws against victimless crimes had been abolished and the government actually worked for the people. That'll be out and ready for publication next year. After 40 years of carrying it around in a box, I've got it transferred to the computer, and I'm editing it now. But whether I can sell it or not,
we've been cut off 8 times.
Okay, there we go again. Yep, 8 times. Yep, they sure don't want this going, do they?
Live show. We're reconnecting you now.
Well, that's it, 8 times, huh? We've been cut off more than that, Bob. You know, what a pain in the ass.
Sensitive, we're reconnecting you now.
Well, this is real interesting, Bob. Ha! I've been cut off so... Shit. Bob Chapman.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we're reconnecting you now.
Bob, this is pretty interesting. I don't think I've ever been cut off this many times.
Live show, we're reconnecting you now.
Well, their little computer keeps trying to reconnect us, but all right, I'm done.
Live show. Call recording has been completed.
All right, Bob. Listen, thank you for being on my show. God bless you. Thanks. I appreciate it. Okay. All right, Bob. They're really working overtime here, but thank you for being on my show. God bless you for your work.
Since it appears you're calling back live show, we're reconnecting you now.
They're starting to tick me off here a little bit. But again, Bob, God bless you. Thank you for being on my show. I'm done.
The next 24 hours. Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Okay.
Now we can see a new world coming into view. A world in which there is a very real prospect of a new world order.
The New World Order does not mean surrendering our national sovereignty or forfeiting our interests.
Internationalization, subtle indoctrination, there's so much disinformation, ridicule, demonization, and so much documentation that requires examination, that the only explanation is corruption in our nation. Come on, wake up, come on, wake up, come on, wake up, America, come on, you gotta wake up, wake, what's it gonna take? You have to shake it, come on, you gotta wake up, wake, doesn't take an earthquake, wake your sleep, it'll be a mistake. You gotta wake up, wake, what's it gonna take? You have to shake it, come on, you gotta wake up, wake, doesn't take an earthquake, wake your sleep, it'll be a mistake. There are those full of ambition with a globalist position, they require the acquisition of our guns and ammunition, and they think that through attrition they'll defeat the opposition, they'll impose the abolition of the people who petition, but their plans won't reach fruition, cause America's position is a traitor's quick admission to the city mortician. Come on, wake up, America, come on, wake up, America, come on, you gotta wake up, wake, what's it gonna take? You have to shake it, come on, you gotta wake up, wake, doesn't take an earthquake, wake your sleep, it'll be a mistake. You gotta wake up, wake, what's it gonna take? You have to shake it, come on, you gotta wake up, wake, doesn't take an earthquake, wake your sleep, it'll be a mistake. To defeat the mass confusion, we must fight off the illusion that the way we distribute retribution is the logical solution. We must stop the persecution of the ones with resolution that the only sane solution is a peaceful revolution, and engaging in collusion will result in persecution. Yes, the logical conclusion is to keep our Constitution. Everyone complains about desperation, condemnation, population, confrontation, immigration, confirmation, irritation, decimation, reformation, desolation, deportation, dislocation, regulation, our corrupt administration. Free up our freedoms, liberate our liberty. Free up our freedoms, liberate our liberty. Everyone complains about fabrication, hesitation, aggravation, limitation, termination, tabulation, litigation, fragmentation, motivation, motivation, occupation, liberation, domination, vindication, usurpation, liquidation, reputation, and our Constitution's reformation. Free up our freedoms, liberate our liberty. Free up our freedoms, liberate our liberty. Everyone complains about medication, reprobation, toleration, radiation, vaccination, deportation, provocation, medication, transportation, population, subjugation, publication, and our control communication. Free up our freedoms, liberate our liberty. Free up our freedoms, liberate our liberty. Free up our freedoms, liberate our liberty. Free up our freedoms, liberate.
I'd like an opinion here, David. I've been spinning my copy. Have you been reading my novel? And no, I'm not fucking yelling at you either.
Now we can see a new world coming into view. A world in which there is a very real prospect of a new world order.
The New World Order does not mean surrendering our national sovereignty or forfeiting our interests.